Good morning. Hi, PMH. How are you? Don't y'all just love her energy every Sunday morning? We love you, PMH. My name is Janice Gilmore, and I will be your celebration assistant today. And this gentleman here to my left is our senior minister, Reverend Don Lansky. And as you can see, Blair Jones is not with us today. She's off gallivanting around Europe, making music and having fun. But we have a wonderful guest musician, Susan Munson, who will be singing her. We love to love here at Unity of Charlottesville. It's a great welcome. She'll be singing her songs for us today. And we have the band. Let's give the band a hand as well. Give them some love. And you will be seeing the praise singers up here as well. So without further ado, we have Susan Munson singing Leaving Home.
Hello. So I was telling them, I wrote the song about 10 years ago, and I didn't realize exactly what the song was about, but really what it's about is leaving your home and being born and being here on earth. It's all about being here and experiencing earth. Well, I'm leaving home, gonna hit the road. I'm gonna walk in the woods, I'm gonna feed my soul. I'm gonna sing with the trees, I'm gonna listen to the breeze. I'm leaving home, gonna feed my soul. It's also a call and response. So when I sing the first line, you guys can echo me. Where the river is wide, runs deep and slow, I'm gonna wade in the water, gonna feed my soul. I'm gonna talk to the fishes, throw out some wishes. I'm leaving home, gonna feed my soul. Well, the mountain is high and the valley is low. I'm gonna walk in the valley, gonna feed my soul. I'm gonna climb up the mountain, drink from the fountain. I'm leaving home, gonna feed my soul. Where the road is long, it's gonna take its toll. I'm gonna hold my head up high, I'm gonna feed my soul. I'm gonna walk in the sunshine, sleep in the nighttime. I'm leaving home, gonna feed my soul. I'm leaving home, gonna feed my soul. Yeah. And now you're gonna feed our souls.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you.
Great.
What a great way to start the morning.
Susan wanted to let everybody know that she's Blair approved. So Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity of Charlottesville, and welcome to everybody online this morning. Unity welcomes people of all faiths, all religions, all cultures, all gender identity, all sexual orientation. Everybody is welcome here, and we hope that you'll find something this morning that moves you and inspires you and nurtures you on your spiritual journey. So it's our tradition to begin with prayer. So I want to invite us just to take a moment and close the eyes and take a deep breath. A deep, cool breath in these hot days. What a privilege it is to have this time together to really consider what it means to be a spiritual being having a spiritual experience on this earth. We have some sense that there is more to us than meets the eye, each and every one of us. That we are more than we thought we were, that we are more than we think we are. And we just tap into that knowingness for a moment, a place of exploration, a place of nurturing. And we have a sense of there being more that we can develop, more that we can know, more that we can be, and also a sense of completeness for where we are right now. Is it possible just to accept ourselves right for where we are, right in this very moment? As children of God, children of the Most High, however you conceptualize that for yourself. And with that knowing, we have the basis to meet any challenge, to overcome any challenge. So we say thank you, God. Thank you, loving source energy. Thank you for this opportunity and this privilege. And we want to send forth also love and peace for all those in the path of these fires and storms and natural disasters around the world, all those that are in the path of warfare in the moment, conflict. We hold forth a vision of a world at peace. And so it is. Amen.
And let's conclude our prayer with our statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God the good, omnipotent. And now it's that time for our welcome song. And I'm going to invite the praise singers to come up on the stage. And feel free to walk around, maybe introduce yourself to somebody you've never met. You can roam the room.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My
Well, can you guys hear me in the back? Yeah. So Robin is also on vacation this week. She'll be here next week. And as far as we know, the advertising that we're doing to attract families has started already. And if you haven't seen this, I want to show this for the last
What if
last
Sunday
time.
school wasn't about teaching children what to believe, but about empowering them to draw from their own inner wisdom and giving them the tools to discover their own spirituality? Join us at Unity, a positive path for spiritual living, Sundays at 10:30 a.m.
So what's happening with this, it's being marketed to Facebook for families with, young families with children. And it's also, do you know that our phones are being listened to? Did you know that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's really true. CBS confirmed that is true. So it's being targeted to those folks as well. So we'll see what happens. We're holding a vision for a youth and family ministry here. So we're just going to keep holding that, even though you sort of look around, we don't see many kids here, and Genevieve is all ready to go. So if any kids come, we'll have you there. Thank you, Genevieve, for being here. Appreciate it. All right, so let's just do a blessing for those that are here and those that are yet to come. So together, children, Uniteens, YOUers, teachers, and parents, you are loved, special, and important. That's the truth. Yeah. Is Jane here? She's downstairs. Well, that doesn't work. Well, today is Spiritual Cinema, right after church at 1 o'clock, and Love Over Money, the true story of John Robbins. And so that'll be downstairs. And also, I think probably what she's down there doing is setting up for the new art show that's for this month. So take a look when you go down there to see that. There is fellowship today as well through these two doors.
And Ginger Collier, why don't you give a wave, Ginger? There she is. Yes, give her some applause. Give her some love. Woohoo! Woohoo! She's been doing this book study group for how many years? 2 years. And it continues. The next session, it's the second Saturday of each month, and the next session is on July 13th. Thank you. And contact Ginger if you want more information.
We have a new event, a new opportunity. This is Ken Rinpoche Jigme Gyatso. He is the 81st abbot of the Drepung Gomang Monastery, personally appointed by the Dalai Lama, and he's here from India. And he will be here on Sunday, August 4th at 1 o'clock. So I don't know what he's yet talking about. I'll know next week probably. But if you'd like to see a bona fide, very, very high Rinpoche, you're welcome to come and see that at 1 o'clock. It's free.
And our Unity Men's Fellowship continues. Bob, can you give a wave to everybody? Let's give him some love too. Bob has reinvigorated our Unity Men's Fellowship, and the next meeting will be on August 5th at 6 p.m. in the Unity Fillmore House.
And Patricia's summer meditation retreat, The Power of the Heart, is happening on August 10th. That's a Saturday. And there's still openings, and you can go online at our website, unitycharlottesville.org/events, and you can find out more about it, and you can also register if you'd like to come. It's an all-day workshop.
And we have a bookstore sale, 20% off the list price. Is that, books by Edgar Casey and other ARC books. Healing Half Hour continues every Wednesday, 6:30 to 7 on Zoom. If you have a desire to join in a healing prayer circle, a powerful circle, please do so. You'll love it.
And we're rolling out, I think we probably have already rolled this out this week. This is a new program that's available through our church database system that you now have the opportunity to go into your own file to see your giving statements, to make adjustments to your contact information. It's also a phone directory, so you can, if you want to find someone else in the congregation. You can search for them and they'll come up for you. It only contains information that you want to be there. So there's an invitation link that we are sending out, and what will happen is that you click on that invitation link, and then you can just sign into this new program. So we hope you'll take advantage of it. It will replace our existing phone directory, our church directory. So it is a good way for people to just connect and know who each other are. So if you have any questions, please call the church office. Jane, we announced the movie and the art show. I don't know if there's anything more you want, because you weren't here, so I don't know if, is there anything more you need to say about it?
Please come.
Please come. All right then. Please come. Do you need more artists though too, or?
Come on up, Jane.
Yeah, come on up.
Come on. Come on down, Jane. Woohoo!
Thank you. Thank you. Just, you know, talking about the movie, it's really inspiring. It's incredibly inspiring. And we thought it was more to do with Baskin-Robbins, and so we were actually thinking of giving everyone an ice cream cone, a free ice cream cone for coming, and then realized that would be a terrible idea. Because it's about health. And it's about love. It's a really brilliant movie. So I hope that you're able to attend today. Also, I'm all set with artists until September, and I'm looking for new participants. Please come down and see Michael's work today, Mike Ferkley. He is so funny. And this is like beautiful illustrations that he's doing, and you'll enjoy them. So anyway, anybody who would like to step up, please get in touch with me about showing your work here.
Okay, thanks so much. And if you've noticed some new signage around the campus, that is the work of Jane also. She's designing signs and putting them up so people know where they're going. So thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you. And now, let's share together our mission statement. Unity of Charlottesville empowers everyone to express their unique divinity, making a positive difference in the world. And now please give Susan Munson another warm welcome. She'll be singing Up Early.
Sorry, I had a capo on. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Up early in the morning, I love the break of dawn. Birds singing in my window, them old squirrels carrying on. Grab my old guitar, look out on that open road. My step is light and my heart is pure. Down the road I go. Every day I thank the Lord for this life. The breeze at my back, the sun my guiding light. Up early in the morning, I got so much more to do before this life is through. Up early in the morning, skies are glowing red. The ocean's been calling, better go before I'm dead. The mountains are beautiful as I walk the desert floor. There's flowers blooming all around me, I smell them, that's for sure. Every day I thank the Lord for this life. The breeze at my back, the sun my guiding light. Up early in the morning, I got so much more to do before this life is through. All right, Bill. Up early in the morning, I can't sit still. My feet's be moving sometimes against my will. The road's been good to me, it's taught me all I know. I'm happy out here alone, don't you miss me when I go. Every day I thank the Lord for this life. Sun, my guiding light. Up early in the morning, I got so much more to do before this life is through. Before this life is through. Thank you.
Oy vey. Thank you, guys. You just sound great today. Don't they sound terrific? Wow. Excellent. Wherever Blair is, they're Blair approved, you know. So a man married a very strong and strong-willed person, very outspoken and strong-willed woman. And after a couple of years of marriage, he decided that he wanted to have more control over their relationship. So one day he got the courage to confront her and he said, you know what, from now on there are some new rules. I'm going to hang out with my friends whenever I want to. I'm going to play cards with my friends whenever I want to. I'm going to go golfing whenever I want to. And he started feeling pretty proud of himself. So he said, and you know what? When I come home, you know who's going to take my shoes off? And the annoyed wife said, the funeral director. So I've titled this talk, Where There's a Will, There's Oy vey. You all know the word, I assume, right? Everybody knows that word, oy vey? It comes from a dying Eastern European language, Yiddish, which both of my Jewish grandmothers spoke. And although I never knew what the direct translation of oy vey was when I was growing up, I knew that it couldn't be good, because oy vey was always accompanied by a combination of hand gestures, like oy vey or oy vey or oy vey, like you just can't say the words by themselves. So if my grandmothers perceived a problem, like an aggravation or a frustration or an exasperation or grief or pain, which they both experienced quite frequently, they would say oy vey or oy vey is mir, that's another variation of it, or oy gewalt, there's another variation of it. So, there's an old joke where these three women are sitting on a park bench, and the first woman lets out a heartful, after a few minutes, she lets out a heartful oy, and a long silence goes on, and then the second woman goes, she sighs, and she says, oy gewalt. And then there's another long silence, and the third woman goes, she moans, she sighs, and she moans, and she says, oy gewalt. To which the first person replies, I thought we all agreed not to talk about our children. So here's another oy vey moment, right? This is the Jewish origin of Ave Maria. And this is Mary coming in and telling her mom and dad, the angel Gabriel visited me and told me I was going to have a baby, and they're going, Oy vey Maria, right? That's how that all started. Anyway, go ahead, it's okay. So, the use of oy vey by my grandmothers often followed a demonstration of my and my brother's will, apparently in opposition to their will, right? So that would mean like running out of the house without our coats on, or jumping into the pool after we had a full meal, or fighting in the house, things like that. But there were some pretty major oy veys in the Bible, especially the Hebrew Bible, where man's will was pitted against God's will. In fact, much of the Bible is really about that dynamic. What happens when man and woman's will goes against God's will? And with the overall message in the Bible, if you look at just the general macro situation in the Bible, the message is that if you obey God, you're blessed, and if you disobey God, you're cursed. That's kind of a big message. So in chapter 15 of 1 Samuel, God, speaking through the prophet Samuel, commands King Saul to attack the Amalekites and kill every man, woman, child, and animal. Pretty nice. So King Saul, asserts his own will, and he spares the king and also some of the best sheep and cattle, disobeying God. Apparently it was okay to kill the women and children. So as punishment, Saul is rejected by God and loses his kingdom. God takes away his kingdom. And Saul begs God for forgiveness, but to no avail. And then it gets even worse, because the text reads, "Now the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord tormented him." So I can just see King Saul, can't you see it, holding his head and going, oy vey, right? Oy vey. Now remember, the Fillmores, the co-founders of Unity, interpreted the Bible metaphysically, not literally. So they said that the Amalekites represent the animal forces, appetites, and passions of humanity that are warlike and destructive in their nature. And they must be cleansed completely out of our consciousness. And the way we do that is we deny them a place in our consciousness. We choose not to put our attention there. Because if we don't destroy that error thinking, sooner or later, it will destroy us. And so all of this, according to the Fillmores, all of this stuff about killing men, women, children, this is all occurring really in the realm of thought, metaphysically. And so this is really a story about obedience to divine law, that King Saul deviated from divine law, and so he was punished and tormented. He wasn't punished by God, by the law. He wasn't punished for discretion. He was punished by the discretion, right? By them. So the New Thought interpretation might be then, when we're out of alignment with divine mind or universal truth principles, we experience the results. It's a cause and effect relationship. Now, our will is something that we can use to forward our spiritual journey, or something that can put obstacles in our way. Have you noticed that? Charles Fillmore identified the will as the executive faculty of the mind, one of our 12 powers that we're born with, inherent gifts from God. So we've all had the experience, I think, where we faced some kind of challenge, and by the sheer force of will, by our sheer willpower, we were able to overcome obstacles and accomplish our goal. And this could have been an emotional or a spiritual or a mental or a physical challenge. Like those times when you're too tired or too exhausted to do something that needed to be done, and you just kept going because you knew that you had to. Anyone ever have that experience? Almost everybody. And at those times, there's something within us that we tap into that gives us the energy and the motivation to persist and to keep on going. It's as if we have this latent superpower. And that's the will. That's the power of will. So Gandhi said, strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. And sometimes we keep doing something that we feel we should be doing, even though we're not seeing the results, or even though the results are the opposite of what we wanted or what we thought we wanted. And I can tell you that for me and for Robin and for our board of trustees and for our volunteer teachers, Genevieve and Peggy and Sindri and Meredith, we keep holding out this vision for a thriving youth and family ministry. We just are holding on to that because it feels like the right thing to do, even though we haven't seen many results yet. Right? We're still holding that vision. Charles Fillmore said that will is the decision-making, directing, choosing, determining faculty of the mind. It's our capacity to say yes or no to opportunities and options. Like this woman, seen here exercising the power of will, right? Doing a good job. In The Revealing Word, which is a dictionary of New Thought terms and definitions, Fillmore says that will is the center in mind and body around which revolve all activities that constitute consciousness. What man wills or decrees comes to pass in his experience. So let me say that again. What man or woman decrees comes to pass in his or her experience. That's what we talked about last week on July 4th, how the founding fathers decreed this country into being by issuing out the Declaration of Independence. So we've all achieved great things by mobilizing our will. We've all succeeded in something when others thought that we should give up, simply by focusing and by applying our will. And we may have even felt that something we did or accomplished was perfectly aligned with what we perceived to be God's will or divine will. But have you noticed that what we will and decree doesn't always come to pass, right? At least in a way that we can recognize, at least in a time way or a way, a time frame, we just don't recognize it. So sometimes after using our will to try to accomplish something and not succeeding, we come to the conclusion that the desired outcome may be our will, but maybe it's not divine will. Maybe it's not God's will. We have that experience, at least for the time being, maybe we have that. So sometimes our will doesn't seem to be working despite our best efforts. But it may be that God or the universe is operative and actually providing for us for our own best interest or for the best interest of others. That's another possibility. So, the first time I applied to Unity Seminary, I didn't get in. In fact, I received a letter of rejection. I didn't even have the opportunity to go in for an interview. And I had dreamt about that goal for 7 years. I had worked actively towards it for 3 years. And so when I was rejected, which they didn't like that word, so of course in Unity we called it redirected. No one is rejected in Unity. You're redirected, which actually is true. So I took it pretty hard. But, I survived my self-imposed pity party and all of my oy vey moments, And I picked myself up and I rededicated myself to fulfilling all of the requirements that I needed and so that I could reapply again to seminary. Mainly, I had to do a lot of volunteer work in my local church. And it took a great deal of will to stay focused on that goal, because instead of taking the free cruises, all the free cruises I was offered and all the free trips I was offered as an executive in a big travel company, I took that time instead to attend these prerequisite classes, more classes, so I could reapply for the seminary. And so I spent countless lunch hours and countless evenings taking additional classes and at my local Unity Church in Miami. And between that time that I was redirected and applied again to seminary and received acceptance, I received a huge, huge salary increase. And best of all, I met my wife, Patricia. So had I been accepted to seminary in that first try, all of that never would have happened. It just wouldn't. So in that case, my God had another plan for me. And I'm grateful that that plan prevailed and not my own. Right? It turned out to be a good thing. So how do we discern what is God's will and what's our own will? How do we do that? And I thought we would spend a few minutes kind of exploring that with each other. I'm going to break us up into pairs, and you can turn to the person next to you or person in front or behind you. If you're really brave, go up to someone that you've never met before and have them be your partner. And I want to ask you the question, how do you discern what is your will and what is the will of God? Now, by God, I mean however you conceptualize that. So if God for you is the universe or source energy or something else, you feel free to use that definition, right? So let's do that now. Just pick a partner. You'll have a couple of minutes each to do this. And the question is, how do you know? How do you discern what is your will and what is God's will? Does everyone have a partner who wants one? So if you haven't switched, please switch so that everyone has a chance to share. So let's begin to finish up. And just thank your partner and come on back. So, what was it? Oy vey. So, in seminary, we had a Monday morning service for all of the seminary students and all of us prospective ministers. And every week, we dedicated ourselves to the will and the work of Jesus Christ. Now, that's a pretty abstract idea, right? What is the will and the work of Jesus Christ? I mean, if you ask an evangelical Christian, they might say, well, it's to save souls and convert them to belief in Jesus as Lord and Savior. They might say that. But that's not what we do in Unity. So, what we read in the Gospels are divinely inspired scriptures that are translated and then retranslated and then translated from the translations and over and over and over again throughout the centuries. How do we know what Jesus really said? And so how do we know really what the will and the work of Jesus Christ is? And of course, there are themes that are common to the Gospels, even both the Gospels that are in the New Testament and those that are not. And they're important themes, like that we are children of God, that God is unconditional love, the kingdom of God is within us, the exposition that Jesus did of universal truth principles, all of that, that we assume, rightly, I think, to be the words of Jesus. So we have kind of a sense of that. But the will and the work of Jesus Christ, what is that? It seems to be highly subjective, something that each individual has to discern for him or herself based on their own understanding and their own direct experience. And I think really this is one of the true gifts of Unity and of the Fillmores, that we honor and celebrate each person's ability and their freedom to make that decision, to discern for themselves what that means. Who and what is Jesus Christ to you, and how do you choose to apply these teachings? Dr. Emily Cady, who was a homeopathic physician in the early 1900s, she was a friend of the Fillmores and wrote books that were considered to be Unity textbooks. And she wrote in Lessons of Truth, "Did Jesus ever tell anyone that it was God's will for him to suffer, lack, or be sick, or be a failure in any way? If any such vision of God's will is in your mind, rise up instantly, and in the name of Christ, put it forever out of your thought as unworthy of a loving Father and doubly unworthy of yourself, his offspring. When any of these things come to you, arise at once and claim your rightful inheritance. I am thy portion and thine inheritance, saith the Lord. Remember what God is, who says to you, I am thine inheritance. He is life, wisdom, peace, joy, strength, power. Remember that he has given it into your hands, although to you it may not yet be visible, a place where there is no want of anything." So Cady is saying that if you doubt that God's will for you is anything but unconditional love, or that if you're not worthy of that love, rise up instantly and forever put it out of your thought. That's pretty strong. Cady is talking about a mental and a spiritual discipline where we pay attention to our thinking. We actually notice what it is that we're thinking, and then we choose, right? We rise up instantly to deny what is true, deny what is not true, and to affirm what is true. And in his book, The 12 Powers of Man, Charles Fillmore gives some practical advice. He says, Practice the presence of God until you open your consciousness to the inflow of the omnipresent, all-knowing mind. And then affirm your unity with that mind until you know and fully realize through the many avenues of wisdom just what you should do. This acquirement of a knowledge of the divine will is not the work of an instant. It results from patient and persistent study, prayer, and meditation. So as in many of the passages that I find in Fillmore, I can almost always find some little hidden formula, some little nugget. And I see in this passage, there's actually a three-step process. First, we open our consciousness to the inflow of all-knowing mind, whatever that concept is for you. And we do that through study, prayer, and meditation. That's number one. Number two, we affirm our unity with that omnipresent, all-knowing divine mind. And number three, in the space of that expanded consciousness, we fully realize what we should do. Maybe not right away, but by being open to the many avenues of wisdom that come to us from within and also from without. So Fillmore says this is not the work of an instant. It requires patience and persistence. And if you're like me, that advice is not always easy to take, right? It takes patience and persistence. In fact, the irony is, and I'm a big fan of irony, the irony is that it takes our will to stay focused on the process of discerning God's will, right? It takes our will to stay focused on the process of discerning God's will. We have to have the intention to do that. And that means, taking time for prayer or meditation, it requires some discipline. It requires a decision to set priorities and then a decision to choose those priorities. So remember that quote I mentioned earlier from Charles Fillmore, that what a person wills or decrees comes to pass as his or her experience. So what will it be for you? Where there's a will, there's a way? Or where there's a will, there's oy vey? Right? So let's prepare for meditation.
Don't scream, don't shout. It's what life's all about, love and family. It's all you really need. And I know it's true. I had it all once too, and it slowly drifted away, worrying about another day. Today's the day we need to show our love. In the end is what we all dream of. Love and happiness, warm sunshine, some tenderness for your fellow man. And I've got a plan. A few kind words and a smile will do so much good with a hug or two. It's up to you. And it's up to you. So don't lie, don't cheat. You'll be cast out on the street to find your way along. Try to find your way back home. Be good and just, and in the end you trust that things will work out true. Maybe not how you want them to. In the end, it all comes down to love. Baby, that's what you and I dream of. Love and happiness, warm sunshine, some tenderness for your fellow man. I've got a plan. Few kind words and a smile will do so much good with a hug or two. It's up to you. It's up to you. Yeah, yeah. It's up to you.
Let's take this time now to have our meditation experience this morning. And I want to invite us to just close your eyes and take a deep breath. Notice if there's any tension in your body, if you're holding your neck or shoulders or tightly, just allow yourself to relax a little bit and feel your feet firmly planted on the floor. We can take this time this morning in silence to listen. Now, what does listening mean? Well, we have this endless stream of thoughts when we close our eyes. Some of them may be deep and profound. Some of them may be what you're going to have for lunch or what you did this morning. And we just notice our thoughts moving like the flow of a river. But you know, many of us who have our meditation practices know that even as we observe or as we sit with our thoughts, that we can also ask questions as well. We can ask a question and then we can listen for a response. And we can ask the big questions, you know, what is God's will for my life? What is God's will for my life today, this week, this month, this year? What is God's will for me until the day I take my last breath in this earth plane? Those are the big questions. Or we can choose to ask maybe a simpler question. What would I do today that would bring me more happiness or be of service to others? So I want to invite us to take this time to ask either the big questions or the little questions, not minding that sometimes we don't overtly hear an answer, sometimes that we just seem to be full of clouded with thoughts that don't seem to be even related in the faintest to that question. But as Fillmore said, we are persistent. It takes patience. And how many of us really have time to take in the silence? So let's do that now. I invite us just to go into the silence and just ask either a big question or a little question. See what happens. So we have our practice cut out for us for this week. If we have thoughts of anything less than the God of our being's unconditional love, or doubting our own worthiness, we rise up instantly. We rise up and cleanse that from our consciousness. That is not the truth of who we are. And so for this gift, this superpower of will that we have, the ability to say yes or no, the ability to choose our opportunities and options, we say thank you, God. Thank you. Amen.
Welcome back. Thank you, Reverend Don, for that wise and so helpful teaching. Always helpful for us as we go out into our lives. And thank you, Susan, for your beautiful music. Yeah. We have an opportunity now to give back a portion of all the good we've received here today. But before we go there, I'd like to ask if anyone is here for the first time. Do we have any first-timers here today? I thought I saw someone. Hi. Welcome. Everyone's pointing at you. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And anyone online who might be visiting us for the first time today, we thank you as well. And if it's doable for you to join us in the sanctuary, please, we hope you do. And let's see, Don, you want to talk about unexpected income?
Yeah, we still have these flyers out in the lobby. If you weren't here the last couple of weeks, our unexpected income program is kind of a challenge that we have, that any unexpected income that you find between now and August 31st, that means, if you find a quarter on the sidewalk, or if someone owes you money that you forgot about, or if you find $1 in your purse or your pants, that 10%, you give 10% to Unity and you keep 90%. So this is just kind of an experiment in tithing. So you're welcome to join us if you like. There's also, even if you don't want to do the program, there's a prosperity prayer in this bulletin. And the folks who are in the program are doing this prayer morning and evening. And you're welcome to join us in the prayer even if you don't want to play the game here. So.
And there are many ways to give to Unity of Charlottesville: online, text to give, the U.S. mail, or give when you're here into our butterfly net. Maria will be coming around with the butterfly net. So it is time for our blessing together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we have another song from Susan, my sisters and my brothers.
Which I did not write. I love the butterfly net. That's awesome. So this is a song that my dad had wanted me to do, and I started doing it. I want to say to my sisters and my brothers, keep the faith, 'cause when the storm flies and the wind blows, go on at a steady pace. When the battle is fought and the victory is won, we can all shout together, we have overcome. We can talk to the Father and the Son when we make it to the promised land. And if we walk together, little children, we don't ever have to worry. through this world of trouble. Oh, we got to love one another. So won't you take your fellow man by the hand, try to help him to understand that we can all be together forever and ever if we make it to the promised land. The Bible reads, thou shalt not be afraid of the terrors by night, or the arrows that fly by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in the dark, nor for destruction waiteth in the noonday hour. And if we walk together, little children, we don't ever have to worry through this world of trouble. Oh, we got to love one another. So won't you take your fellow man by the hand, try to help him to understand and all be together forever and ever when we make it to the promised land. This world is not our home, we are only passing through. Our trail is all made up way beyond the blue. Let us do the very best that we can while we're traveling through this land, and we will all be together shaking a hand when we make it to the promised land. When we make it to the promised land, y'all can sing. Make it to the promised land. Make it to the promised land. Oh, make it to the promised land. When we make it to the promised land. Make it to the promised land. We will all be together, shaking a hand when we make it to the promised land. Yeah, we will all be together forever and ever when we make it to the promised land. Yeah, thank you. You all are awesome. This is a beautiful place. There's a beautiful feeling and spiritual here. Thank you for letting me come and sing. Thank you for coming.
So we can invite the praise singers to come up for the end here. And
Okay. Pastoral care. We, as always, have a pastoral care team. If you have a need, please email pastoralcare@unitycharlottesville.org or call the office.
And next week, the message will be, How Do I Heal? We'll be exploring that together. I want to thank everybody who helped out this morning, Greg and Amy up in the sound booth, and we have Ellen and Denise back there on the blessing team with Maria. Salidas on the blessing team, and Genevieve here waiting for our children who are not yet here. Thank you, Genevieve. And our healing helpers are back here. I want to thank Janice for helping out. I want to thank our guys. You sounded fabulous today. Bill Edmonds, Jim Paulson, Ty Carr, Blue O'Connell. And of course, Blair approved Susan Munson. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. So we have our healing helpers back here in the corner, and Buddy is here if you have an individual prayer that you'd like to help celebrate or pray with. Buddy is here. So let's stand. I just want to say also, Spiritual Cinema at 1 o'clock downstairs, and we have fellowship today also through these doors as well. So let's stand. So together, together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and wherever God is, all is well. That's our choice. That's our choice. Have a great day.
Good job, Lion. Strong and tall. Do you know the song? You gotta learn that.